Welcome to Frequently Asked France Questions, the series where I teach you things I've learned about immigrating to France the hard way so that you don't have to. In today's episode, how do you convert your insurance history? It might not be the first thing people think of when they come to the land of cheese and wine, but even here in France, insurance is something you're better with than without. When it comes to insurance, everyone wants to do whatever they can to keep their premium as low as possible. And the easiest way to do that is to have a policy with little or no claims. But how do you do that when you used to live in another country and you're moving to France? It is actually possible to convert your insurance history in order to get a lower premium on an insurance policy in France, but there are some things you need to keep in mind. Now, the French are world-renowned for taking administrative tasks and turning them into what can sometimes feel like an Olympic sport, and this is no different when it comes to insurance. French insurance companies can be very picky when it comes to the kinds of documentation they will accept, and sometimes they'll even reject things because of the way they're set out. French insurance companies can work a lot differently to companies in other countries, and as a general rule, they will not ever make any exceptions at all. For example, in some countries you can actually pay to protect your insurance discount, but you can't do that in France. So if you want to reduce the cost of your premium, you're going to have to provide the insurer with a list of any claims you've made in the past. And if you haven't made claims, you're going to need to provide them with a document that states that. Even if there's a statement in your policy that says 7 years claim-free, it's not going to be enough for a French insurer. The document must clearly state that no claims were made. In the eyes of a French insurance company, 7 years claim-free doesn't mean that you haven't made a claim. French insurance companies also won't be flexible on the kinds of documents they require, and this can be really specific depending on what you're after in your insurance policy and what country you are moving from. For example, if you're looking for car insurance and are moving from the US, the insurance company will need a complete driving history from the state that you used to live in. Now, there might be several documents that can provide this information, but if it's not the specific one that the French insurance company asks for, it won't work. To put it simply, you could provide them with all the information they have ever requested and more, but if it's not defined within the specific form that they have requested, they will not even look at it. At the risk of angering all French people everywhere with a terrible impersonation, this is France, and if you want French insurance, you must do things the French way. Honestly, if you are an immigrant, it is worth working with an insurance company that regularly deals with immigrants. If an insurance company doesn't regularly deal with people in your situation, they're probably not going to be able to tell you exactly which documents you need, which might mean that you end up paying a lot of money to get things printed and translated into French when you just needed one simple piece of paper. Another good thing to remember when applying for insurance in France and converting your insurance history is that if there is a gap, it can make a huge difference to how much you can save on your premium. It makes sense when you think about it. Insurance policies are basically memberships to clubs that will take care of things if something goes wrong with your house or car. The longer you're a member of the club without any incidents, the cheaper your membership becomes. It's understandable that there might be periods of your life where you are without an insurance policy. But when you are applying for insurance in France, these gaps can play a significant role in how much your premium will cost. As a general rule of thumb, if you have a gap of more than 3 months, it might limit your options a bit. More than 6 months is often considered a death sentence for saving on your premium. It doesn't mean you won't get insurance, it just means that your premium will probably cost the same amount as it would if you've never had insurance. There is some good news. Generally, when you're providing an insurance company with your converted history, you only have to go back as far as 3 years. If you happen to have a stellar insurance history with no claims whatsoever, the maximum discount that you could possibly get is given to customers who've had no claim for 13 years consecutively. You can also convert your insurance history if you were an additional driver on someone's claim and you would now like to be the main driver on a French insurance policy. At the end of the day, insurance premiums are payments for peace of mind. And if you have a decent insurance policy, entering the roundabout at the Arc de Triomphe will feel a little bit less like entering the first circle of hell.